Hello everybody, welcome back to my Let's Play of Star Trek Judgment Rites. We're still in the village of Gothos that's being controlled by the godlike child Trelane. I'm going around exploring the city, seeing if we could find a way to defeat Trelane. Right now we're in the schoolhouse and we're about to talk with this German officer. If I could get these cords out of my way.
Boys and girls, let me introduce you to an example of inferior Republican stock. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk. Tell us, Kirk, how can you defend the ludicrous American system?
I see no reason to defend anything, Captain. These children are, in spite of your efforts to indoctrinate them, quite capable of growing up to become adults who will make up their own minds. I am not interested in a debate, Hauptmann. If your system is so superior to America's, how come you're losing the war? Why don't we put it up to a vote? You have a choice between a system that gives you leaders who will oppress you for life, or a system which, imperfect though it may be, allows you to influence your leaders and gives you a chance to bring them to account. I see no reason to why don't we put it up to a vote?
I think this is the right choice for this one.
You have a choice between us. All in favor of Hauptmann's system, say aye.
Aye!
All in favor of my system, say aye.
Aye!
It appears that they don't want what you offer them, Hauptmann.
I will not tolerate such insults. The Baron will make you all pay.
Sounds like you bruised
Jim,
his
wasn't
ego.
that a violation of the Prime Directive? Dr. McCoy, this is clearly an imaginary culture with no real existence. The Prime Directive cannot be reasonably extrapolated to affect such a culture. Fascinating.
It's been a long time since I've been in school.
I wonder what Dickens would have written if he had been exposed to a place like this.
And I thought 20th century hospitals were grim.
And yet the very best people who taught in a place like this had the power to uplift people's lives, to teach them knowledge, principles, and self-awareness. This was a battlefield where millions of unknown soldiers of knowledge fought to elevate humanity from barbarism.
Wow! A real American pilot! Can I shoot you as an escaped prisoner?
No.
Frau Humperdinck, Colonel Kirk won't let me shoot him! Is that fair?
That annoying kid.
Lieutenant Colonel Kirk, when I grow up, will you teach me how to fly as good as you?
Well,
I guess we're ready to ship you to the academy, Jim.
Are all Americans as handsome as you, Colonel Kirk?
why, Bones, you're never at a loss for words. You answer.
Hi. Ingrid is very shy, Colonel.
I don't remember if I actually scanned this area.
Captain, another abnormally high reading emanating from the chalkboard.
Just see the picture.
An ordinary oil painting, approximately 30 years old. I detect no unusual readings from it.
Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think about the war?
It's horrible. With any luck, my students won't have to fight in such a war when they get older. Herr
No
Kirk,
comment to
can I
that.
help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think about the... What can you tell me about Trelane?
Ah, the Baron. Such a charming man. If all the military in Gothos were like him, it would be a better place to live.
You know, they always speak
Herr
highly
Kirk,
of
can I help you?
Trelane and stuff like that. That proves that he's an egotist.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think about the war? What can you tell me about Trelane? These children are something, aren't they?
They are a little rambunctious, aren't they? Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think about the war? What can you tell me about Trelane? These children... I didn't realize they let mad dogs teach children.
He's a rather enthusiastic officer. Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think of... You know, I didn't realize they let mad dogs... You know,
this one.
I've heard that chalkboards can be very dangerous to children. The chalk is very bad for the lungs. Maybe I should remove it.
You want to remove my chalkboard? Nein, absolutely not. I wouldn't consider it unless you gave me a letter from the superintendent telling me to do this.
So another puzzle to get is to get this one. First the clock, now the chalkboard.
What is it, Klingold? Ah, visitors.
A picture of the Battle of Waterloo by a starving German artist. An impressionist painting of a ship caught in a storm. Several objects of sentimental value line the mantelpiece. Cherished possessions that have been gathered over the course of a lifetime, admired by friends and family that are now dead.
Kinda lonely sounding.
A fireplace. A domesticated long hair. A large plushy chair, the sort that cats prefer. The floor is quite dirty.
You know, this floor could be cleaner. Do you like living here, sir? This place looks very comfortable.
Thank you for the compliment, but I'm sure you're used to nice, clean places in America. I wish that I wasn't so old. I'd like to visit the New World someday.
A gramophone. No songs are playing. A pot of gladiolas. You can tell that Herr Eckhart has a green thumb. A one-armed gentleman sitting on a sofa. James T. Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise. Or is it Lieutenant Colonel Kirk of the United States Elite Enterprise Squadron? Mr. Spock, first officer of the USS Enterprise. Or is it Major Spock of the United States Elite Enterprise Squadron? Dr. Leonard McCoy, chief surgeon of the Enterprise. Or is it Captain McCoy of the United States Elite Enterprise Squadron? Walter Ellis, chief security officer, first officer, and acting captain of the USS Zimbabwe.
That's quite a title.
Hello, kitty. Nice kitty.
Nice cat.
It sounds like my pet Tribble, Rodney. She has this nice pattern on her fur that looks just like this one.
Tribbles are genderless creatures, Commander.
It always seemed like a woman to me, Mr. Spock.
Triples are annoying as hell. The Klingons wiped them all out in a campaign. Guess they really hated them.
I'm attempting to find a pattern in Trelane's illogic. Please do not disturb me.
Careful, Spock. Illogic might fry that delicate Vulcan brain of yours.
Given the many missions we've served together, I'm quite used to being bombarded by illogic and human emotion.
I hope I'm not this lonely when I get older.
Depends on how many of your friends live to old age.
What can I do for you, Colonel?
What can you tell me about the war?
We are a nation of warriors, Colonel. Like your America, we were born in war. We believe that military might gives men the right to take what they want.
What about diplomacy?
I wish we understood it better, Colonel. The pieces of paper that our diplomats sign have too little meaning. If we paid more attention, we could have prevented this latest mad conflict. I lost my grandson at the Marne. What can I do for you, Colonel?
What can you tell me about the... I noticed that you have only one.
I lost my arm in the last war, January 8, 1871, during the siege of Paris during Bismarck's war with France, shortly before Germany's glorious victory. It still didn't bring my arm back.
Music changed with that. And then
What
he
can
just
I
goes
do
back.
for you?
What can you tell me about the war? I noticed that you... What can you tell me about Trelane?
Ah, yes, the glorious Baron. I'm a lowly soldier, retired and alone except for Glingold. I don't think I can tell you anything about him. What can I do for you, Colonel?
What can you tell me? I noticed. What can you tell... Where can I go to earn some money?
I might be able to give you some money, Colonel, if I could think of something useful that you could do for me. What can I do for...
What can you tell me? There's some trouble at the school. Where can I go to earn some... There's some trouble at the school. I believe the chalkboard may be dangerous. It should be removed. How could I convince the superintendent that this needs to be done?
I believe that some of the instructors are more dangerous than any chalkboard. But if Herr Schiller were to hear such a report from Herr Sundergaard, the publisher, he might agree to have it removed. Herr Sundergaard is the most respected man in town, next to the Baron.
Needed to get some money. They said the floor's kind of dirty, so...
Thank you, Colonel. You Americans are very helpful. It's a pity we're at war with you. But wars always end, and today's enemy often becomes tomorrow's friend. Unfortunately, the reverse is often true. Here, it's not much, but money has its uses.
Thank you. Perhaps you might be able to use a broom around here.
Why, thank you, Colonel.
No, some music gets happier after you do that.
This is money, necessary to get goods and services in the 20th century.
Now let's go into the armory.
A copy of the Holy Bible.
Kind of odd thing to put in here, but...
A brilliant brass telescope. This glass ball will cause a snowstorm over a tiny German village if you turn it upside down. Best Huntsman 1912. This trophy belongs to the commander. A metal wastepaper basket. A picture of a Prussian soldier circa 1871 standing at attention. A supply case holding some of the commander's few possessions. The commander looks at you without a trace of friendliness. The commander prevents you from looking at the papers. This painting of a storm at sea isn't impressionistic, just poorly painted. A safe. It is currently unopened. A rack containing German rifles.
Apply Mausers.
A painting of a Prussian cavalry officer on horseback. The guard seems offended by your presence in the arsenal. Lieutenant Commander Ellis says nothing, but waits. James Kirk, his eyes narrowing in disapproval at this place. Mr. Spock continues to ponder the illogic of the situation. Dr. McCoy has always had a dislike of military things.
I guess you'll want to use the security guard here, right, Captain?
These people don't seem to like visitors.
And I thought these people were supposed to be friendly to tourists.
Fascinating. More illogic. Why would a German colonel be stationed in a small town like Gothos?
Maybe he likes the climate. I don't like the looks of this place, Jim.
I would have shot you on sight, Lieutenant Colonel Kirk. You owe your life to Baron Trelane's kindness.
I'll try to remember to thank him when I see him. Why don't you tell your so-called Baron to stop playing games and come out of the castle and face me? kindness? Trelane? Are we talking about the same man? I'll try to remember to thank him when I see him.
Yeah, you probably do not want to anger him.
When you see him, you will die. And when you are dead, I will be thanking you.
The Baron has given orders that you are not to be disturbed. But if you threaten Gothos, we will kill you.
I'll kill you. Silence. Let's just get out of here. One more place to kind of visit. If I remember correctly.
I can't believe the trench would be so close to the town.
It shouldn't be. At this point in the war, the Allies had broken through the trenches. That's why Germany surrendered. Their defenses were crumbling, and they didn't want to see their cities destroyed.
Only one of many illogical situations, Commander. The building where we were imprisoned almost burned to the ground, but no other building was touched, and no one seemed concerned about the fire.
What else?
The fact that everyone seems to recognize us, yet the military does not try to intercept us. The building signs in English instead of German. There is much here that is not what it seems.
Is this German or Allied territory?
During the trenches, no one was really sure. It became known as the Dead Marshes. Just ground was always muddy with blood and rain.
Army engineers have begun building a tunnel here. The tunnel has barely been started. A ladder, which allowed soldiers to climb out of the trench and die more quickly.
Main problem with World War I is that the generals and colonels and stuff, they were all used to the old ways of war. So they would have their men do charges towards the other line. But this was the first really big war that had machine guns on it, and the other side just mowed down the people on both sides, and it was just really brutal. That was a really bad war. Well, all wars are bad, but...
A lone soldier groans, but does not move. McCoy is aghast at the landscape, which represents the brutality of his human ancestry. James T. Kirk looks out on the battered landscape and keeps his thoughts to himself. Lieutenant Commander Ellis feels a kinship with the dead. Mr. Spock analyzes the situation and wonders why there is not more destruction.
I'm going to call it a part of the Let's Play here.
Save new game. Replace previous game.
I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.